All right, on today's video, I'm going to walk you guys through my PadSplit numbers. I'm going to give you guys a rundown of the income since we put it in market back in September all the way through February. We're going to look at real numbers, my financials, and also whatever PadSplit the platform is showing. So this is all real time. Now, before we get started with the numbers, let's talk about what is PadSplit anyways. If you've never heard about PadSplit model before, it's basically a platform similar to Airbnb where you can list your house and rent it by the room. Usually, rent is collected on a weekly basis. So every week, the members are paying and the platform of PadSplit is collecting. There is a cost to this, and that's 8%. PadSplit charges every month to process this, similar to how Airbnb has platform charges. And then they also have a lease-up fee sort of thing where they take the first 10 days of every booking. In average, PadSplit estimates that members stay between 6 to 9 months. I haven't had my property listed that long yet, but I do have a member that has been there for 3 months so far. So it is more of a long-term kind of model and more affordable. So it's less high maintenance, in my opinion, than having like a short-term rental Airbnb. Even the setup of the PadSplit is a little bit different. You set it up with very basic furniture: a desk chair, a bed, a TV, and a nightstand. And then you can put little lamps and maybe a little frame to make it look more homey. And if you need a dresser, you can do a dresser. The other thing with PadSplit is that you are incentivized to convert common areas. So the less common areas you have, the better. What we did is we converted our formal dining room into a bedroom. So right now, we are listing 6 bedrooms, but we will be having another one added because we have a sunroom that was converted into like a little guest suite. So that is one of the things. With that being said, now let's dive into Baseline and my PadSplit dashboard so you can kind of see how things work. And we'll go from there. So what you're seeing right now, it's my PadSplit dashboard. And so you can see here, we have a total of 6 rooms that are being rented. This is the house in Conyers, Georgia, which is the suburbs of Atlanta. Atlanta is the hub for PadSplit. So just know that. Kind of gives you like a little portfolio performance. So you can take a look at this whenever you log in. So now the things that you want to see, right? You can see here which one's vacant and what the prices are for each of the room. These are weekly prices. And then here we can see the monthly performance. And so you'll see that when we started, we had just a few days rented and then it started picking up. At this point in time, we had all 6 bedrooms rented. So this is kind of what we can expect, more or less. So now let's go to Baseline and take a look at our reports, right? Now we are here in our Baseline reports and we're going to be looking at the net cash flow. So you'll see here, we record the income based on the net fees after PadSplit give it to us. So right now you can see here 205, 1421. These are all here. So that already includes the fee that PadSplit takes. They take the first 10 days of every booking. And then from there is 8%. Now, of course, we also pay a property management fee because I'm not currently managing. We record the net, and then from there, we're going to be taking the management fees, which you'll see here. The net that we've collected so far has been $12,000 after all the fees. So these are all the expenses so far. So, September was kind of a big month for us because it's when we actually set it up and we spend a lot in getting it ready and painted and all that stuff. So there's a lot of negatives here. October, we're still not fully occupied, so you can still see negative. November, we're getting better. And then December, we cash flow. January, we cash flow. And then boom, February. So usually when you're looking at reports, one thing that I would like to mention is you always want to look at why, what happened. So one of the main things that happened here is we actually had to install some new locks. And we had a couple work orders. And then another thing that happened this month that I realized is we were being charged for something that was not supposed to be charged. So looking at your books is actually something that I highly, highly recommend whenever you are doing anything in real estate. Because if you have property managers or just in general, you might forget that you have something on auto pay that shouldn't be paid. And so just reviewing the books is going to make sure that you're not being charged for things that you shouldn't. But you'll see here, our mortgage payment is about $1,300. So we're going to see what March looks like. We expect to be back to positive because we don't have these extra expenses, but we do have a new vacancy. So we'll see about that. If you're intrigued about the PadSplit model, I highly recommend you look into it. If you have an underperforming property or you're wondering, can I make more money in my property if I do this model? Go ahead and do that. Their website has listings that you can see, so you can search your area and see what other people are renting their rooms for. Or you can also meet with a rep and they can give you kind of an analysis and see if your property is a good fit. PadSplit is not in every city, so that's another thing that you want to consider. But overall, so far, I am happy with our decision to convert our house into PadSplit, but only time will tell. So I'm going to be continued doing these monthly updates until we hit the year mark, so that we can get a complete picture of how it moves, right? Because with these types of income, because you don't have a fixed lease, the income will fluctuate a lot. So we just want to be able to have that good snapshot at the end of the 1 year period. So stay tuned for more videos. And if you want to learn more about different strategies that I have worked with, I'm going to be continuing posting videos on a weekly basis. So stay tuned.